regarding the WTO, and DHR decided to use that on the back of the CD cover to kind of represent the whole scene.
That's really cool.
And it was just a very like politically charged time, you know.
Were there any bands in particular that that you've toured with that was really memorable? I mean, like good, bad, hilarious.
Every single tour has been a "what the fuck are we doing" moment. Every single one, because the logistics involved are so monumental, and so many things go wrong, and it's just such a rolling, stressful clusterfuck from, you know, minute 0 to the very, very end of the tour. It's been pretty hilarious. I'm really far away from being a professional touring act. It's really difficult to get your shit together that much, you know. Rapid Junk has certainly been plagued by a lot of gear issues. It's because what we're trying to do is pretty complicated. You know, I want to have a live drummer, and I want to have all of the electronics going, and 2 guitar players and 2 vocalists. And the band on stage needs to hear something different than the crowd out there.
Stuff coming out from the monitors you need to hear, and then the rest goes
That's
out to
it.
the crowd.
Yeah, because we're playing to backing tracks. You know, there's a lot of electronics in Rapid Junk that aren't recreated live. We're actually just playing to the tracks from the CD. And like all of the programming, you know, this is just the way things are done. It's, you know, you play the loops.
That's how we do it with Bass Theorem. Exactly. That's
and
crazy.
you know, it's really hard. It's and you know, and I went a really complicated route. I read an article about how Nine Inch Nails did it, and I thought, well, that's how I'm gonna do it. You know, I just, you know, I got signed to Full Effect, and they were being distributed by Sony, and the word on the street was that Rapid Junk was going to be touring a lot, and so I needed to have a really professional setup. So I invested a bunch of money in a rack mount tour computer, and that's, you know, was running a program so that I could send my band like a custom mix of all their tracks, and then what I sent out to the crowd is a custom, another custom. I mean, it's just super complicated. Every single show we go to, something would break. A plug would fall out, you know, I mean, it was just a fucking nightmare, non-stop. So, and looking back now, it was really funny, but at the time, it was like my whole world was falling apart, you know? When you're on stage and everybody's looking at you, and then your shit goes wrong, it feels like hell, you know? it feels like you have so failed, you're so, you know, nothing can match that sort of embarrassment, right? You know, and then like my whole band's looking at me because I'm in charge of all the electronic shit. It's my band and all this, and they're like, "What's going on, JP?" And I'm like, "I don't know, because I'm not a fucking techno genius, you know." There's been a lot of hilarious moments. You know, probably the moment that's always gonna stick in my mind though. That's really funny. My drummer Kent, he's the guy who likes to party quite a bit, and he's a big dude, so he can really party, you know. I mean, just, you know, he can just ingest more chemicals than any of us can, right? And we were doing a show in Detroit, and we were staying at a hotel that happened to have a swimming pool, and you know, we did the show, and it was stressful. We had a good time, but a little stressful. You know, shows are stressful. You know, when bands are out, you know, the reason bands are getting so fucked up is because they're stressful. The fans should know that. They're not partying because they're happy. Partying because things were stressful, you know? And so after the show, I had some press stuff that I had to go do. So I had to go do an interview with somebody, and I had to go do this sort of, and so I didn't get a chance to really blow off any steam. The rest of the band, mind you though, they went back to the hotel and got completely fucking annihilated. So when I went back to the hotel, I found them all in their underwear in the pool. And I was like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" And you know, Kent's in his little whitey tighties, and he grabs my leg, and I'm fully clothed. I got my cell phone, my wallet. Right. I'm fully clothed. I got my shoes on like that, and he grabs my leg and pulls me into the pool. And then, you know, like a little kid looks at me like, "Oh, I just really fucked up." Oh, oops! Like, I was being really impulsive, and that was a pretty good moment. And I wasn't pissed at him. Like, he was just totally drunk. And if we had switched places, I would have been just as drunk as he was. So the next day, he bought me a new cell phone, and we dried my shoes, and they looked like brand new, by the way. So if you got old shoes and you want to bring them back to life, dip them in a pool and put them in a dryer. Yeah, they're good.
Tetraknot.com. In your mouth. Of course, we're just drinking juice. So you're in a band.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, outtakes will be fun.
We Germans are very tanned and very dark looking.
You tan so much that you become tan. And welcome back to Tetraknot.com interview with JP from the Rabbit Junk.
Also known as Yacht Pay, yeah?
Yacht Pay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, listen to the Rabbit Junk! Yes, Tetraknot.com. But not only we are so industrial that we speak with fake German accents, but we are so industrial. We use screwdrivers and schwiezel sticks. Oh,